Yo, how's it going, everyone? We are back. It's that time once again. We are here for the early Dokkan stream. So yeah, we should be getting the part 2 LR for Global revealed in hopefully 30 minutes or just under. LR Cell Max comes out on JP in like 2 hours. So how are you all doing? JP players, are you going to summon for Cell Max? Global players, are you excited? Yeah, Mugen dudes, LR Ginyu guys, whoa, get hyped. Because if it probably is going to be Ginyu, which is, as I said in the previous video, and I think we talked about it a bit yesterday too, very underwhelming release right now for Global, because is entirely designed around being run on a special pose team, and we don't really have that team on Global because we don't have Topo and all of the other EZAs and stuff that were out on JP when that unit came out. So like, if you summon for Ginyu Force, like let's say it is the Ginyu Force, which it probably is going to be, let's say it's the Ginyu Force, if you summon for him on Thursday, it's like, where are you going to use him? Like a full Ginyu Force team, which, I mean, that team will still work in some events, but like the toughest red zone bosses, not really. So yeah, it's definitely, I would say, an easy skip for a couple of factors, and I mean that is one of them. The other one is the fact that it's like literally the last banner before the anniversary, so every multi you do on the Ginyu banner is a multi that you could have done on one of the anniversary banners. So I mean, the thing is, I'll still, as I always do the night before a banner comes out, I will make a summon or skip video, but I mean, it probably won't have to be a very long one. I mean, obviously I will talk about the banner and what it's like and what it looked like on JP and stuff like that, but it is one of those things like we said about cards in the past, where it's kind of like an investment card, right? Because like if you want to summon for Topo and you want to build his team when he eventually comes out, then obviously having the LR Ginyu Force for that team will be good. The problem is just like if you have him now, is not super good. Plus that is also true, Ginyu will be in the general pool for Gogeta and the Gammas banner during the anniversary. So if Gogeta or the Gammas are one of the LRs from the anniversary that you really want, that you're going to summon for, there's always the chances that you pull Ginyu from their banner, because it will have all the yellow coin LRs unfeatured on that banner. So that's what you definitely don't want to do, is go crazy and spend a bunch of stones now to get Ginyu, and then the anniversary drops, you summon for Gogeta and pull Ginyu like straight away. It's definitely not the order in which you want would like it to go. So yeah, it's going to need to be a guaranteed featured LR and discounts to summon. I mean, I think I'll have to take a look back at one of my videos, or the stream it'd probably be from this time last year, because I think they put discounts on the Super Boo banner, which was the one that came out at the same time. But because yeah, that's the time slot right before the anniversary, yellow coin LR from April. So yeah, Nithka featured. More hyped if we get the Super EZA for, yeah, the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Super EZA. That would be cool. Yeah, Apathy, how's it going? Imagine Global not having any news today. Well, we know from yesterday we got the thing about the quest mode update, so those stages should come out tomorrow. I think the red zone stages come out tomorrow as well. But then part 2 should start like properly with the banner and everything on Thursday. And since the news cycle thing for like news to in-game is normally 48 hours, and we didn't get any news yesterday, pretty much have to get something today. Yeah, Super Boo. Okay, yeah, so the Super Boo banner had discounts. So, but yeah, the global news should be dropping in like 25 minutes. So just go through and do our dailies and stuff here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. See if we can get up to 100 likes before Global gets the news for the Part 2 LR. I think it's pretty unlikely it's going to be Cell Max, right? Because we didn't get the teaser posted. We didn't get the animations and details posted like JP did, right? So it seems very, very unlikely at this point that it's going to be Cell Max. Yeah, they posted the Gogeta and Broly banner featured list thing, so I have to double check what it was. It was from the, wasn't it on the like producer letter? Something like. Let's get the global producer layer up here. I'm pretty sure it was both banners, but. Oh, was it the one before the Freezer one? I thought it was on the one for the ticket. Oh, was it on the specific thing about the tickets? Or was it on the producer letter? I thought it was on the producer letter where they talked about the tickets. Maybe it was just the in-game one. Watch it be Topo because Sense and Global don't get along. I mean, true, but don't we... well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but going from Dokkan Fest, as in Frieza, to another Dokkan Fest, it's not something they've done before in this time slot, but obviously that doesn't mean it's impossible. Best Link level stage is still 34-4, even with the release of Area 35 on JP. Okay. I'm guessing Area 35 just doesn't have any, like, big multiple enemy fights then. Yeah, Omega probably won't be back. For Global, Omega's probably not going to be back until the worldwide banners, which is crazy. It's something that they... I think one of Dokkan's biggest problems is when they implement something new, they don't... Like, even if the original implementation is fine, right? Like, the original Carnival LRs, the Tech Goku and the Metal Cooler, they were perfectly fine, like, at the time of release. But it's like when they implement something, it's like they implement it, but they don't know how to keep it going, right? It's like they'll implement a new mechanic, like when we got the costume change thing, and then they just won't do it on another unit for like 8 months. And yeah, Carnival LRs have that problem where, because we only get like, well, there's the ones in the anniversary and the worldwide, which are like two banners during the same celebration, but then the solo Carnival banners, like, they're so far apart between each other that it takes ages for the Carnival LRs to actually return. Because Omega came out when? Like, was it early February for Global? And has never come back on a banner. The LR Super Saiyan Trio came out December on both versions and have never returned on either version. Like, and I mean, I know it's the same kind of thing with like Dokkan Fests where it takes a while for them to come back for the first time, but then they seem to come back like fairly regularly. I think it's just because there's so few of them as well. Because it's like if there's a solo Carnival LR, they can always go on a dual Carnival setup for like worldwide or anniversary, but then they also have to have another one to go on the other banner. And then when it comes to the ones from the dual celebrations, it's like they don't seem to return until there's another dual celebration, so they can both return at the same time, instead of like both appearing on a solo banner or something like that, which obviously as we get more of them in the game, that will be less of an issue. Because obviously remember, for JP, the next Carnival LR banner is going to be in July. Because while Global's having the anniversary, JP has the Tanabata celebration, which will have a Dokkan Fest LR as part 1 and then a Carnival LR as part 2. So on that banner for JP, I imagine that's going to be when the LR Super Saiyan Trio return for the first time. But that banner won't come to Global until like November, potentially, depending on what they do with the sync. But... and yeah, the fact is they pretty much never change the anniversary banners for when they come to Global. So chances that the I mean, plus, like I said, as we already said, right, they posted the list of the actual banner lineup, and Omega wasn't there for Gogeta. I'll have to see if I can find that entry thing. I'm getting close to having my Roshi thing finished. I must have missed a couple of days because there's people on Global that have finished it already. And that's before we got the 2 times a day thing, right? They would have got those other runs in. So that means I can't believe that means there's like 20 days from when they first updated that thing. Well, I guess the missions were retroactive, so from when they revamped the event, which was a long time ago. But that means there were like 20 days at least along that route where I've just forgot to do that stage, apparently. For like the daily mission. Yeah, so Gogeta's banner is Gogeta, the Sword of Hope Trunks, and then, yeah, the Int Carnival Gohan, Metal Cooler, and then Yellow Coin LRs, and some T SSRs, obviously, as well. So, yeah, Gogeta. So that means basically it's going to be the counterparts, isn't it? It's going to be the same as it was for JP. So Future Gohan will be on the Gamma's banner, the AGL Kai Goku on the Gamma's banner, Tech Carnival Goku. So, but yeah, no Omega, no Super Saiyan Trio, which is dumb. But that is another thing that will be sort of corrected, like with the sync. But World Tournament, yeah, there should be. If it's going to be like last year with the similar kind of time slot, the the next World Tournament should be the last weekend of June. So not this weekend coming, but the weekend after. Yo, Kiwi, how's it going? I do believe has been the best quality of life update for Dokkan, the Giru guide. As someone who I think has basically never used it, I would probably not say that. For me, I don't know. As someone who played Dokkan back in the day when you couldn't do that, I think the hidden potential upgrade thing where you can just do all of the paths and like do multiple nodes at the same time. Because back in the old days, back in the dark days, you had to do every single individual node in the hidden potential, like individually, and it was horrendous. Yeah, exactly. OG hidden potential. It was horrible. Hey, shout out to Epic Soul for the follow over on the Twitch side. Yeah, the 10th anniversary. I wonder if, yeah, because the 7-year LRs are going to EZA, which means they would either be one of the first like big Dokkan Fest units like that to get an EZA and not have their leader skills change. Or they would end up with better leader skills than the 10th anniversary in terms of like percentage, unless the 10th anniversary units have a higher leader skill, which is interesting. The only other thing that I think they could potentially do is add something else to their leader skill, like damage reduction or something like that, any kind of other ability. The only other thing I think they could do is just so that they can say, like, hey, look, see, we buffed their leader skill, is just make their thing like 4 key instead of 3, but then the rest just stays exactly the same. So it's like GT, like the Super Saiyan 4s, it's just like GT Heroes and Fused Fighters 170 and key 4, and then Kamehameha 30%. Oh yeah, the OG, like bigger, much bigger maps for all the quest modes. No auto. The quest mode difficulties, like you didn't complete every difficulty at once if you did the hardest one, so you had to play every single quest stage 3 times to get the 3 stones. Yeah, there's a lot of things from back in the day that were brutal. Like, imagine, for those of you who've never seen the way it was and, like, can't even imagine it because it's obviously so terrible to even think about. But, like, I need to find a unit that doesn't have... Yeah, you have the normal hidden potential. Imagine you've just pulled a unit and potentially you've even pulled dupes, right? Like, you can't even do this, like, where you get, like, a couple of them, right? You literally had to go into the hidden potential and do this. There was no auto. There was no, like, you know, clicking over here to do 3 at a time. You had to sit and do this. And one of the other things that would be really annoying is you'd go through and do all of these, and then you'd have a character at 99% because you'd missed one somewhere, and then you'd have to sit and look and, like, zoom in and go all around and look, and then you'd realise you'd missed, like, this one here or something. Because obviously there was no activate all button. So yeah, if you pulled a new unit when they came out and you pulled dupes for them, it could take you like 20-25 minutes to actually just get them up to like 79% or something if you pulled like 2 dupes. It's because you had to sit and do every single one individually. And yeah, I think you had to you clicked the one and then it told you, like, obviously this takes this many orbs, and then you had to press OK. So it actually took twice as long as I was just showing you, because you don't just press one and then press the next one. You had to press one and then press yes, and then press the next one and press yes. And you had to do that for every single one. But yeah, that was was brutal. But yeah, the number of times I had one of those things left to get, and a lot of the time it was, I think it was either that one was one that was quite a lot, because it's in the middle of a whole bunch of other ones. That one as well, I think. Or that one. Some of the ones that are easy, they're harder to miss, because that one's actually one of the ones that is easier to miss. Because things like this, if you're, like, you know, going around this way, it's not super easy to just, you know, it's very easy to get the last one. But yeah, it was crazy. Next thing they do is upgrade equipment. Yeah, Dokkan events were actually hard. It was like, I remember I pulled AGL Super Vegito, and I actually couldn't Dokkan Awaken him until Tech Gotenks came out, because I couldn't beat his Dokkan event, like, consistently enough to get his medals. Which is crazy to think about now. World Tournament without AoE units. Yep, I never really properly played the World Tournament back then. And then I was one of those people who was very lucky to get... I got LR Broly, like, from his original banner on Global. So obviously from that point onwards, the anniversary was just use LR Broly. The World Tournament. Yeah, comparatively, Vegeta and Trunks were way better for longer than Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I mean, this is what I was saying in the... I think it was a video when I was talking about Tanabata, or we were talking about it on stream. It could be both. But, like, I'm pretty sure on JP, I don't know if when LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku came out, were people saying that he was, like, the best unit in the game? Because obviously he didn't last as long in the meta as Vegeta and Trunks, but obviously when they came out, people were saying they were the best unit in the game. The problem is I have superhero, Super Saiyan 3 Rose, can't Dokkan Awaken him. Oof. Yeah, that's the other thing that would be weird about, like, if we don't get the hero celebration anymore, is what happens with, like, if you haven't awakened the characters, right? Because the events are only available during the hero celebration. They just have to make them all available with keys, like, even if they hadn't returned before or something. But yeah, remember to hit that like button. We've got over 100 people in the stream now, so see if we can get 100 likes on the stream before the Part 2 LR reveal, which should be in 10 minutes. Well, 9 minutes now. I'm not sure if it'll be in the news because, as you said before, right, a Dokkan Fest exclusive, we always get a thing in the news saying like a new Dokkan event is coming. But obviously for the Ginyu Force or any Yellow Coin LR, they don't get a new event. So we don't get a teaser thing in the news that says like any sort of new event is coming. So the news should just be the Global Dokkan posting the Ginyu Force details or whoever it is. But I mean, at this point, like I said, it's almost 99%, if not more, that it will be Ginyu. Like, it's very, very unlikely that it's going to be Cell Max, just because of all the stuff that's been posted on JP, and then nothing has been posted on Global. So I'm going to get the Global Twitter up here. But while we have got a decent amount of people here and we are waiting on the news to drop, let's put the put the link to the second channel here in the chat. So we're going to do a new thing on the second channel later today. I'm going to put the link here and pin it in the chat. So those of you who don't know, anyone who's new for this stream or just hasn't been around on the morning streams or anything, I have a second channel called Ningen Plays, which is for all non-Dokkan stuff. So basically any games that I'm playing that are not Dokkan get played over there. It's mostly streams. Every now and then I put up a video, but it's mostly just for streaming. We've been playing Rise of the Ronin. There's only 3 days left now until the Elden Ring DLC. I mean, technically, like, it's Tuesday now for me. It's Thursday night it comes out, because it comes out at midnight over here. But we're going to be playing a game, trying it out this later today, over on the second channel in basically like 12.5 hours from now. It's a horror game that comes out today. It's called Still Wakes the Deep, and it's like a first-person horror thing set on an oil rig. So it looks quite interesting. Could be quite a creepy. Going to try that out for a stream tonight, see how we get on. It could be a short game that doesn't take super long, or we might not like it, but we're going to test it out. It's always nice to play some different things. And then obviously Elden Ring DLC comes out Thursday, so definitely hyped and ready for that. I have 3 characters with 3 very different builds that are all at the end game and can obviously just go anywhere on the map and do any particular thing. So like, they're all potential candidates for the DLC, all different builds. So definitely ready to go on that one. So did you see the reveal trailer for A Quiet Place game? I don't know. If it was at the Summer Games Fest thing, then I would have seen it, but I don't remember it. Yeah, Cell Max could just use least Gohan medals. Well, yeah, because that's the other thing as well. Is not only did Global not post any details or anything for the Cell Max thing, but he awakens with Beast Gohan medals. So, oh, it came out today. Oh, well, definitely not then. Did you beat Moog with all the characters? I'm fairly sure I have. I'll have to go in and check, obviously, on Thursday when I'm getting everything ready. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know with my 2 main characters that I'm probably going to do it with one of. I know I've done it. And then my other character that's at the end game, like, I don't know if I have for sure, but I probably wouldn't be using them anyway, to be fair, to start off the DLC. Did you see the new Dokkan unit ranking for Extreme? I was just like the new thing that Global, because Global's got to start doing a new thing now that they've done. Oh, okay, the most used Extreme class characters in high difficulty events. So number 3 is Piccolo Jr. That's kind of cool, but yeah, as all the characters like slide past, there is Super Saiyan 3 Rose. Good. I mean, that's the thing. Super Saiyan 3 Rose is actually really good and has only gotten better as the anniversary content comes out, because he's actually able to get his full passive active. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not impossible. It's just very unlikely because they've never done another, like a second Dokkan Fest after the first one in this time slot for Global. Like, it's always been, for the last couple of years, it's been the Part 2 LR from April in JP. So obviously that means the Ginyu Force. But I need to go through and actually do these before, like, the thing goes away. Like, I haven't even bothered replaying the stages. Because you have to do, I can't remember, do you have to link level the Ginyu Force units as well, like you did for the Bardock ones? I think you do, right?
All right, let's do this.
Good morning from Greece. Hey, Dionysus, how's it going? Love physical Super Saiyan 3 Rose. Mine's only 55%. Yeah, have to abandon all patterns for Global. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Global, I mean, could you imagine if after all of this, where we think, oh, you know, it's got to be Ginyu now because it's not Cell Max. Could you imagine if we get the news thing in like 3 minutes and it's just a Global First Yellow Coin LR? Which would obviously be crazy because we're missing 2 Yellow Coin LRs. I mean, technically only 1 because Cell Max isn't actually technically out yet. He doesn't come out for another hour and a half on JP. But, I mean, that's the thing, right? Global has done weirder things before, so never say never when it comes to Dokkan. I need to message my thumbnail guy. 1, 2, should be into mins. I should have thought about it in advance and just asked him to make me a thumbnail that was like with Ginyu on it because it's almost certainly going to be Ginyu. But yeah, as I was saying, check out the second channel if you haven't. The link's pinned in the chat. All sorts of random games over there. But yeah, we're going to try out a cool looking first person horror game tonight. Elden Ring DLC on Thursday. So a whole bunch of different stuff going on. If you enjoy these streams, if you like the vibes, the community, all that good stuff, and you just want to hang out more, see me do other stuff that isn't Dokkan, then yeah, check out the second channel. Prediction for the Tanabata LRs. I think it's unlikely to be GT again. So I'm thinking it's either going to be... I want to see, like, Broly. So, like, I guess it would have to be Broly versus Goku. But we thought of... It could be, like, Broly versus something like, like Trunks. And the card could be, like, Trunks, Gohan, and Vegeta, maybe, or something. And then they give their energy to Goku. And it's, like, an exchange or a standby or something. But just a new LR, like, movie 8 Broly. Is it movie 8? The first Broly movie. It looks like UI. Bunch of news. Oh, Super EZA Goku Black. Okay. Alright, let's see. Let's refresh global Twitter first as well. So they've not actually posted anything on Twitter, but... So new stage coming soon, new stages of the Red Zone, new Dragon Ball story coming soon, new level of the Super EZA coming soon. But Twitter's not posted anything, so still no info on the Part 2 LR yet. Refresh it again. Yeah, that's... Yeah, interesting. But yeah, so Super EZA Goku Black is coming to Global. So does that mean we are going to get Cell Max, but we're just getting him like a few days or so later than JP? But then, yeah, he awakens with Beast Gohan medals. Although, isn't this... isn't this is the art for the LR Ginyu Force on here? Yeah, that's the art from the LR Ginyu Force. So... I mean, I am, for one, super, super glad that we're getting this before the anniversary, because I really want to try the Goku Black. Like, I want to be using the physical Rose and Super Boss's team in the anniversary content. So yeah, that means the new stages are coming out Thursday, not tomorrow. New support memory buff. That's so weird, though. There's no... Is it? Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never looked at that properly before. Well, so I would imagine if we're getting Goku Black's one, we're not getting the Ginyu one. Not Ginyu one. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. But yeah, what is the... Because part 2, based on like when the sales end and all that kind of stuff, like part 2 should start on Thursday. But they've not shown any... They've still not shown anything about like the... They've still not shown anything about the... what the part 2 LR is. Like, in theory, in terms of how these things normally go, look like the global Dokkan should have tweeted out the Part 2 LR details. So if it is the Ginyu Force, they should have tweeted out their card details and their animations, like, today. Ready for them to come out on Thursday. But there's still nothing on the Twitter, so... They'll surprise us tomorrow with LR Cell Max details. I mean... It's technically not impossible. It would be kind of funny, right? If like they just dropped, if they just dropped LR Cell Max on Global and they made him awaken with like physical Ultimate Gohan medals instead of the Beast Gohan medals. Because there's no other way around it, right? They can't just like randomly drop the Beast Gohan Dokkan event, right? So not really sure. That's the only other thing they could do, is make it physical Ultimate Gohan medals. I was just waiting a minute just to see if the like whoever's, you know, as the good old memes about the global intern not posting the tweets on time, because I didn't want to start recording a video now that's just like saying about Goku Black Super EZA. We still don't know what the Part 2 LR is yet, and then literally in the middle of recording it they tweet it, but. Okay, so I could probably just get away with until I get a new one using the original Goku Black Super EZA thumbnail as well. No Part 2 LR, but physical Goku Black Super EZA is coming to Global. Wasn't it when it was announced in the news though on JP? Didn't it take like ages to come out? Because I'll have to double check how many days it is. But yeah, Cell Max comes out on JP in like an hour and 25 minutes. It's 7:35 for me in the morning here. It comes out at 9. So... But yeah, let's see. Goku Black Super EZA. When was that announced? So his full details, it appeared in the news before that. I think I made a video about it when it was first announced then. But it was his details came out on June the 9th. How many days was it from when his thing appeared in the news? It was more than 2. I believe. Yeah, global never stops being as unpredictable as possible. Exactly. Bright side, more stones. Well, I mean, Super Easy A's, unfortunately, are not events that give out a lot of stones, but... Oh, wait, no, that's JP. Switch back to global. Now, the thing is, there hasn't been a data download, so obviously we don't know exactly. The only things in the schedule are just still those World Tournament units that just have the placeholder dates, so 339 days. But I would imagine if the next World Tournament is going to be at the end of the month, as we all assume, then those will get updated with the next data download, which should be within the next day or so. Because if it wasn't today, then... Alright, so... Let's get all of these pages open here. Get this news video done. Still have to keep an eye out on the Twitter just in case. But yeah, what is the difference? Why are they updating the Ginyu Force Extreme Z area thing? Easier to collect awakening medals on the map. I guess did they just not do that, but they did one for the Bardock team one, so now that they've added all these new missions and everybody's getting the Tech Ginyu Force, they hadn't added, like, the revamp to the stage or something? Although, in fact, I should just be able to look at it, right? Because it should be under... Oh, it's probably already gone, isn't it? What does it say about the preparation period? It doesn't actually, so... It just says will soon be revamped. Yeah, everything's getting super laggy because I'm trying to open up multiple pages for Dokkan info, but it might just be easier to record it like this with the stream and just show the news in the game, because unfortunately Dokkan info is... I don't know if it's just because every page has like ads and like animated card arts and stuff on it, but it just makes, if it's during a stream, it makes everything lag so much when you open up Dokkan info. Alright, we'll just change the OST. We'll put Goku Black's one on or something. Alright, so before we start, we will just double check that Global haven't posted anything. So Max being a part 2 for JP and not for us is one of those, oh no, anyway. I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is, obviously, for me, I would much rather have Cell Max than Ginyu, because Ginyu on Global will be terrible. He has no team. He wants to be run on a special pose team, which Global, without having Topo and all that other stuff, doesn't have. But this means that, also it means that Cell Max, you could argue, is kind of likely, because we're getting more of the content that is from the Rosé celebration on JP, because we got Trunks, now we're getting this. Like, why are we're not getting the Part 2 LR as well? So, very strange. But, alright. Let's get this done here quickly. Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so, we've been waiting for news on the Part 2 LR reveal. Considering that Part 2 should be starting on Thursday morning, we should have received the details on Twitter for the Part 2 LR. At this point, it very much seemed like it was almost certainly going to be the LR Ginyu Force, so we would have expected to see the card art details and the animations posted on the global Twitter. And instead of getting that, instead we got a bunch of updates in the news in-game. And the big one here, of course, is that Global is going to be getting the Super EZA for physical Goku Black. So this is very interesting because obviously we, been talking about this guy. I made a video about it the other day, trying to think about where they would fit this guy into the schedule. And one of the things that we were sort of thinking in general, I guess, as a community is, as we've been wondering about what part 2 for Global is going to be, one of the speculations was, that we would get the same part 2 LR as JP and then get the physical Goku Black Super EZA as well, because then we're getting all those little extra bits from the Rosé celebration that weren't on Global when Rosé originally came out on Global. Then, of course, JP announced Cell Max. We had the teaser just before the weekend, and then on Monday morning, they revealed all of his details. Or actually, no, it was Sunday. Sunday morning, they revealed his details with his animations and everything. And, of course, Global didn't post anything. And then we had the data download, so we got a bunch of info from JP, including the fact that LR Cell Max awakens with Beast Gohan medals from the anniversary. So at that point, it seemed very unlikely that Global would get Cell Max, and Global will probably get, as we had always assumed with the way the schedules worked for the last couple of years, the LR Ginyu Force, and potentially get the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Super EZA, because he came out with the Ginyu Force, as part 2 of the Topo celebration. That, of course, now all seems very confusing, that we're now getting the Super EZA for physical Goku Black. Now, for me personally, as a Villains fan, you guys know I'm a Rosé defender. I like extreme teams. I like super bosses. I would much rather have the physical Goku Black Super EZA than the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. But this does make this very interesting, because if we're getting this is the other bit of content from the Rosé celebration. They threw Trunks onto Frieza's banner. So now the only bit of content really from Rosé's celebration that we didn't get is Cell Max. So it's very interesting to think about what they're going to do, because in theory, because they've done this before, more than once I think, but LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is one example. They could release Cell Max on Global and just have him awaken with different medals as opposed to the STR Beast Gohan. I don't know if he actually does awaken at any point, or whether it's TUR or anything with the physical Ulma Gohan medals, but they could use those as an alternative instead of the Beast Gohan ones. So the Part 2 LR still remains to be seen. I'm literally recording this now live as the news has come out. I'm just double checking the Twitter again, but we've still got no post, which we would have expected when at the same time all of this stuff came out. But yeah, physical Goku Black Super EZA. I'm really excited for this. I know when people saw his details originally, he was kind of underrated, and then when he dropped, people saw how absolutely crazy he can be. He gets a very large amount of attack and defense per orb obtained as a nuking style unit, and then gets like 150% on super, and is a unit that has big bad bosses. So, you get a good turn with him, and he's hitting some absolutely ridiculous numbers. He's giving support, and with the way these things work, he's probably going to be better on Global, because I think he has slightly higher stats on Global, right? Because the physical, this guy was different between Global and JP. It's like if they ever eventually EZA the physical Super Kaioken Goku, even if he gets the exact same EZA, like the exact same worded passive, he'll be better on JP because he has higher stats. So very much looking forward to this guy getting his Super EZA. I actually missed making the video for JP, because I think I missed the release date by a day. I got confused, but we'll put out a video going over the guide, how to do all the missions for him and all of that kind of stuff. But very much looking forward to this. The Super EZA announcement came out on JP more than 2 days before, because normally we get these event news details and then the event comes out 2 days later. That might not be the case with this guy, although part 2 is supposed to start on Thursday. So at the earliest, this will be dropping on Thursday. We also have a couple of other things in the news. They're doing a revamp for the Extreme Z area for the Tech LR Ginyu Force. I'm assuming that they just didn't do this when all of this other stuff came out. They revamped the missions for the Ginyu Force and Team Bardock. So everyone should have, you've got to do those missions. You get the extra copies of the Tech LR. I'm assuming they're just doing this to make it easier to get the them EZA'd. Then we have a new Dragon Ball story coming. So, I don't know if is this brand new or is it just a revamp of an older one. I think it's a new one, right, with an SSR Krillin. I think this was another thing that came out at the beginning of the Rose celebration. Like when we had that data download, it was Rose, the banner unit Trunks, and then the free-to-play Krillin. So that event is coming to global as well, with a support memory with the Cocoon Frieza. And then obviously we have the actual in-game announcement for the Red Zone stages. So I made a video yesterday talking about those, so go check that out if you haven't seen it. Talking about the Red Zone. It'll be Broly and then Bio Broly. So this appearing in the news today means that these should be dropping on Thursday. It means that the Movie Bosses 2 Red Zone won't be available tomorrow while they take it down to do the preparation period thing. And then we have another one of these stages to boost one of the support memories. I always think it's weird that when they add this particular thing into the news, they don't actually say like which support memory it is that's getting the update with the new stage, because with the way Global has been following the timeline for JP, we don't always get all of these things in the same order, so I'm not actually sure which support memory this is that's getting the update, but obviously I'll let you guys know once we know more. I wanted to bring up the Super EZA details for Goku Black, but for some reason they show him on the Twitter as being like one of the newest released cards, not the Twitter, the wiki. Oh, is it because it's on global? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he has to have 2 tabs on the wiki. So let me switch over to the wiki view here. He has to have 2 separate tabs because he's different on global and JP. I think if it's his stats that they show. So if we do Extreme Z Awaken before Super Awakening, it's 15, 9, 14, 8, 9, 1. And then we go to JP. Yeah, his stats are high, his attack is higher, and I think his HP is slightly higher on global, which means with the Super EZA, he will be better on global. But yeah, this is the physical Goku Black Super EZA coming soon to global. Immense damage to the enemy, greatly lowers attack and defense, and then it's 50% attack and defense per orb obtained. Defense 150% when collecting 3 or more key spheres. Key 1 attack 30% of each attack received up to key 5 attack and defense 150. Randomly changes orbs of a certain type to rainbow and gets an additional 10% per orb when there is a Goku family enemy or all enemies attacking, all allies attacking the same turn as super bosses. So on a super bosses team, not only is he rainbow orb changing, but he gets 60% per orb. And then yeah, chance to crit 20% each time this character receives 3 hits in battle. That doesn't have a cap. So once he gets hit enough times, he'll have a 100% chance to crit. And then he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type other than physical to physical when there's a super class enemy. And then extreme class allies 3 key and defense 30%. So he's a very, very good EZA, Super EZA, very good support unit. Obviously, like any nuking style character, if you get a turn where you don't get a huge amount of orbs, then obviously he's not going to look as good. But on turns where you do get a lot of orbs, and especially considering against a superclass enemy, he's basically a double orb changer, then he's able to be incredibly strong. So, like I say, for me personally, the teams I like to run, I'm much more excited for us to get this guy's Super EZA than the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What do you think about the Part 2 LR? Are we still going to get the Ginyu Force and the global intern's just fallen asleep and hasn't posted the tweet? Are we going to get Cell Max? Maybe it gets announced tomorrow and he releases with different medals needed for his awakening, because then we would actually have gotten basically all the content that JP got for the Rose celebration, which does make a lot of sense. But of course, Dokkan and doing things that make sense don't always go together hand in hand. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one. All right, well, there you go. Get the old news videos recorded midstream. So yeah, very confusing that they're doing it like this. Obviously the tweet for the Part 2 LR literally still could come out at any time today now, because they've not posted it at the normal time that they should have. So we'll just have to keep an eye out and see what happens. But I don't think, because Global doesn't really ever post news at the JP time unless it's one of those things where it's something that's coming out on both versions at the same time. So that's why it's so confusing. Like, if it is Cell Max and he releases like a day later or like, well, I say it'll be more than a day later because he comes out on JP today. So if the Part 2 LR is Cell Max, he's not coming out until at least Thursday, which is very strange. Looking at LR, Goku and Frieza took less medals to awaken on Global than JP. Yeah, so they do weird stuff like that all the time. This way of releasing news is so strange. Yeah, exactly. Everything is just out of sync on Global, which is... I mean, Global's always been weird, but I think it's one of those things that when they announced the sync, we talked about this, I think, on the podcast quite a bit, of like the fact that, I think it was because of one of the trash takes actually, that like the sync was announced too early, basically. I think it's because they announced the sync, and so then that makes everybody just assume that there's going to be a certain level of like things making sense of how they're going to do releases, and then they just didn't do that. So I genuinely don't know. Do we have... Oh, I don't actually have a thumbnail for Goku Black Super EZA announcement, because I don't know... Did I not make a video? No, that's the team building guide. Oh, man. I mean, I guess I could just use this one again while I wait for another one, but... physical... Goku Black Super EZA is coming to Global. Still a chance for LR Cell Max question mark. There we go. That'll do as a title, I think. But yeah, it just like, it's weird because if they hadn't, I mean, I guess it'd be too late at this point, but like if the announcement for physical Goku Black Super EZA coming to Global had been announced before JP tweeted stuff about, where's that Ginyu Force? It is there. If the Goku Black coming to Global had been posted before any Cell Max stuff got posted on Twitter, then I would probably be saying, oh, well, it must be like the same Part 2 LR for both versions at the same time then, because if we're getting this Goku Black Super EZA, which is another piece of content from the Rosé celebration on JP, then it would only make sense for Global to get the same Part 2 LR. But they've already posted all the stuff about the Part 2 LR on JP, and he literally comes out today. So that means if they were going to do, like, I mean, it's still not impossible because Global does weird stuff all the time, but if they were still going to do Cell Max as the Part 2 LR for Global, which they could still do, it means they're releasing him almost at the same time as JP, but just like a few days later for some reason, which is just bizarre. Like, well, I said the same thing about like when the Gammas came out. It's like, what if you're going to release them within like within like a week, or if in this case with Cell Max it would be within like a couple of days, what's the difference of just release them at the same time? Like, what difference does it make to Global if LR Cell Max, if it was going to be him? What difference does it make to Global if he comes out today instead of on Thursday, if he's coming out on JP today? It's such an odd way of doing it. Yeah, like the Gamma situation, he came out a week later, or they came out a week later, which is just weird. It's like, why, if you're going to release them that close together, just release them at the same time. Like, what difference does a week make? Very strange. But again, as we've said before, we'll say many times again, I'm sure, them doing things that make sense are probably not it's not what we should be expecting, I suppose, from them. Yeah, the only thing I could think of to do is, I guess I could update the, I don't like doing all this. It's annoying when global news comes out because it's always like in the middle of the stream. But I could always just open up that thumbnail and just like slap some other text over the top. But yeah, the tweet, they could still tweet out the details for the Part 2 LR in like 4 minutes time. But oh, nice. I didn't even realize Theo's added the Cell Max OSTs onto the playlist. They weren't there yesterday. So let's put these on. I'll turn the shuffle off so they both play back to back.
All right, let's do this.
The only annoying thing about these revamps and having to do the stages again is because you can't auto them because they're technically new stages. Global doesn't get so much. Well, yeah, this is the thing, right? Is that is actually, in terms of what's best for global players, we probably don't want Cell Max to be next, because in terms of, if you were to ask me like right now, like gun to my head, instant answer that comes to mind, if the banner that comes out right before the anniversary, like in a couple of days time, right, if it's Ginyu, should you summon straight away? No. If it's Cell Max, oh, I don't know, because he's so good. It's very much not an easy no. That's the thing, and that we don't want that. You don't want a banner that you actually do kind of want to summon on right before the anniversary. But yeah, I mean, you could get super lucky because yellow coin banners now have the pity system, and they have the guaranteed featured every 3 multis for the first certain amount of multis. I can't remember how many it is. Is it 21 in total? So if I do coming to global, so like you guys, if you were there for the stream, like I got really lucky with my summons for Gohan for like Part 2 of Golden Week. Now, partially that is because of the global ticket packs, because the global ticket packs actually gave you some extra pity coins as well. So I got to the pity thing like quicker than if I was just summoning, but it only took me like, I think it was like 480 or 475 stones, something like that. It was just under 500 stones basically to get Gohan to 90%, because I pulled 3 copies of him and then got to the pity like thing. So that kind of luck, I mean, and you're obviously not going to get, I'm not suggesting of course that like you're always going to get that lucky, but like that kind of luck on a yellow coin LR banner is exactly the kind of luck you would want if it was going to be Cell Max, like right before the anniversary and you decided to summon for him. The problem, of course, is that you might not get that lucky at all, and I think even like a bare minimum with the pity system, because you get those, you can trade in extra copies of the SSRs. Assuming you don't get a bunch of like extra SSR multis or something, I think the average is it's still going to take you around like 700 stones, because it takes 1,000 stones worth of summons, right, to get enough pity coins. But considering every multi is guaranteed SSR, and a lot of those are going to end up being SSRs that you don't need, that you can trade in for coins, I think it works out around 700 depending on how many of those SSRs you actually do end up pulling. But So yeah, like if that was the kind of luck you get, like if you summon for Cell Max and that's the kind of luck you get, like right before the anniversary, then you're all sorted, right? You don't have to use a huge chunk of your stones. The anniversary gives out a lot of stones anyway. For a lot of people who are going to be largely focused on the Beast Gohan banner, which is in part 2, that means they're going to have a lot of chance to recoup stones anyway. So, right. There you go. I've done my like bodge hatchet job of just throwing the coming to global over the top of that. Ginyu News is actually on Twitter. Of course it is. Of course it is. Yo, shout out to Platinum for the €2 super chat. Are you excited for Super EZA Goku Black? I definitely am very excited for Super EZA for Goku Black. He is the one, the Super EZA I would have preferred to come to global before the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. As good as Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks can be on like Goku's team and stuff like that, I really like the Super Boss's team. I really like physical Goku Black. I really want to pull Broly from the anniversary, so obviously for me, you know, very, very much what I was looking forward to. Right, well, I guess now we have to do the Ginyu News video, because for some reason they decided to wait half an hour to post his details instead of posting them at the normal time. Although they haven't even posted their details, they've just posted the animations. What are they doing? I swear, the memes about like global Dokkan will just, at least in terms of their like the communication, right, and like the Twitter side and stuff like that, the memes will just never end. I literally called the video Super ESA as well. Oh my god, how did I not notice that? That's what happens when I'm trying to do everything so quickly. But yeah, there's the link. I know you guys, for the most part, you guys were here when we recorded the actual news video, but you can, if you can help your boy out and just click the link, get it open in a separate tab or something. So let's see, are they actually going to post the card details, or, I mean, I guess I can just bring that up on the wiki here, but crazy. Yeah, why wait half an hour from the normal time that they post everything? They did it to spite me, I'm sure. And now, of course, everything is going incredibly slowly. But yeah, Cell Max is actually insane. Like, at his peak, he's probably I don't know, top 3. It's top 5 easy. But where's Space Traveling Warriors? Ginyu Force. This is how funny. This is like what it is like being a global player, though. So you think about, like, I'm going to make the video now about the Ginyu Force, but this is what it's like being on global. Is that we literally just got the news for the Goku Black Super EZA, right? So I just made the video talking about him, and in that video, it's like, oh, so now I guess we don't really know. Are we going to get Ginyu or are we going to get Cell Max? Because if they're releasing this guy, then, you know, maybe they are doing things differently. And then literally 30 minutes later, they're like, nah, it's just the Ginyu Force. Because of course it is. Let's see if I can get the details up here. Could probably play the Ginyu OST as well. Problem is everything taking so long to load. I'm now trying to refresh the Twitter page, which is not doing anything. Yeah, exactly. Can't wait to run Ginyu on my fully fleshed out special pose team that doesn't exist on global. Like, good times. Oh my god, is this actually going to load or... People literally just replying to the Ginyu Force tweet being like, where is Cellmax? Amazing. Alright, where's the Ginyu Force OST? Alright, well, I guess we're doing this now. Good old global. Where is the Twitter? Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so here we are back again with more news 30 minutes later. For some reason, Global decided to not post the news for the Part 2 LR unit at the time that they do post everything else, 99% of the time, and decided to post it half an hour later instead. So I just put up a video talking about the news updates that we had in the game, with the physical Goku Black Super EZA coming to Global, and in that video, we're literally talking about how, you know, this now does introduce the possibility that maybe Cell Max was going to be the Part 2 for Global, and he's just releasing a little bit later for some reason, because by releasing the Super EZA for Goku Black and that Resurrection of F story event, it kind of seemed like they were, you know, actually giving us all the other bits of content from the Rose celebration on JP. But as we were just joking about in the stream, like, this is just what it's like to be a Global player. It's like 1 minute, it's like, well, we're getting this. Then they change something and we start getting, like, you know, we get Trunks, we get some other stuff. It's like, well, maybe they will get what JP's getting. And then they announce Cell Max and they don't announce him on Global. So we flip back to, okay, well, I guess we're getting the Ginyu Force. Then they announce Goku Black Super EZA, and then it flips back to, well, maybe we are getting Cell Max. But then here you go. So 30 minutes later than usual, they have posted and confirmed that the LR Ginyu Force will be coming out next on Global. So this is a very interesting choice. I talked about this in the previous video. We've been talking about it on the stream. This is a very odd release for Global, because this is what we expected to release in this time slot, because, you know, this is what releases in this time slot for the last couple of years. The LR that was the Part 2 LR for April on JP releases in this time slot on Global. And so obviously last year that was Super Boo, who came out as the Part 2 LR for Kale. And whilst he could be run on Kale's team, which would be weird because he didn't really fit on it, but he did at least fit on her leader skill. These guys, I guess, I mean, they can be run on Frieza's leader skill, but these guys are almost entirely built around being run on a special pose team. And they released on JP with Topo, who was a leader for that team, huge boss for that team, came with a whole bunch of like sub EZAs and stuff like that, so that they could actually be run on a meta relevant team where they could actually get their passive fully activated. Whereas on Global, this is a really strange release, because without Topo and a bunch of the stuff from his celebration, these guys just aren't going to be that great, because it's like, where do you run them, right? So they posted their details, they posted the super attack animations. We can check out the check out these and see like the global dub. We'll go ahead and pause the OST here, but I haven't actually heard this yet, so we'll see what this is like. Their intro's great. But yeah, they have the rock, paper, scissors thing, so you get a different super attack depending on... It's all RNG related, right? So basically they play rock, paper, scissors, and depending on which one of them wins, that's who then does the super attack. And the super attacks have different effects. And they're also based on the different amounts of ki that you get as well. So, I mean, each one of the super attacks is fairly basic, but the fact that they essentially have 4 different 12 ki supers is kind of cool. But the Berta one is the one you want to see the most, because his one infinitely stacks defense. And then I think this is their 18 ki. Oh no, it's their active skill.
This is the Ginyu Force's special fighting pose.
And then, yeah, I think their active skill is one that just gives them a permanent buff. But we'll go over their full details here. It's easier to show it on the wiki than it is to just show it on the Twitter page. But yeah, that's the 18 ki super. So their animation's pretty cool. So we'll check out their details here and you guys will see what I mean when it comes to how well they're going to fit into global. Let's put the OST back on. So LR Ginyu Force, they are of course a yellow coin LR, so they have a 150 lead with 4 ki, Ginyu Force or special pose. So I mean, at least they're leading special pose, right? But it's not the leader skill that matters really, because we got the Int Gotenks EZA, which he leads that team as well for 170, so obviously he's a better leader than them. But it's the allies thing, right? It's like, how are you running this team? So their super attacks here, you can see it's 12 to 14 ki. I think is the, whether it's Raccoon or Guldo. Greatly raised defense for one turn, high chance of greatly raising attack for 1 turn, colossal damage and stuns the enemy. 15 to 17 ki, greatly raised attack, high chance of greatly raising defense and cause colossal damage to the enemy. It's only a high chance of greatly raising defense as well. I thought it was... I think it's because the high chance is because it's the Berta one. As far as I know, the Berta one just does stack defense, but I think it's the high chances because it's a 50% chance it'll be Berta. And then I think this one is, it's Raccoon, or it's a high chance that it'll be Guldo, and then that's why it stuns. Because obviously Guldo is a unit that has stuns in his other units and stuff. So the super attack's kind of RNG related, but I mean, that's kind of a fun like thing. Sometimes it can be annoying, I guess, in the more difficult events if you really want a specific one, and that's not the one you're getting. But it's kind of cool the way the 12 ki works. And then the 18 ki, the special fighting assault, is massively raised attack and defense for 1 turn. That's a 100% buff on super. Mega colossal damage to the enemy, raises all allies attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn. Self-excluded, so everybody else on the turn gets this buff. They get their entrance animation, which gives them 3 ki, attack and defense 150, and launch an additional super attack for the rest of the battle. All allies attack and defense 25% for 3 turns when there are 5 or more special pose allies on the team. So you basically have to be running a full special pose team in order to get their intro animation, which gives them a ton of extra stats, a guaranteed additional super, and gives allies support. So this is something that, like, it almost borders it. Well, I say borders on. It's almost essentially, why would you run them if you're not getting this? So you've got to run them on a full special pose team just to get that entrance animation. Then they get 2 ki, attack and defense 150, guards all attacks, and attacks effective against all types when all allies attacking in the same turn are special pose. So if they're not, they don't have guard. Reduce damage received by 7% up to 35% before attacking, and chance to crit 7% up to 35% when attacking per special pose ally on the team. So again, the less of them you have, the less damage reduction they have before they attack, and then the less crit chance. And then they give special pose allies attack and defense 25% for 2 turns with an int orb or rainbow orb obtained, so very, very easy to get. And then an additional attack and defense 50% with a type key sphere obtained, int excluded. So they buff themselves if you're picking up a type orb, but they give the allies a buff if you're getting a rainbow orb. So if you're getting any orbs other than int and there's a rainbow orb in there as well, then you're getting the support for the allies and the buff for them, which is really good. And then their active skill is just a permanent attack and defense 25% in battle, all allies attack and defense 15%. So they are very, very good at what they do. They are a very, very strong support unit that can give a lot of stats. Their stats, especially after supering, can be very good. but as you can see with the number of times it's literally mentioned in their passive, they are basically useless if you're not running them on a special pose team. And this is the big problem with Global, is we don't have Topo, we don't have all the sub EZAs that came out with Topo, we don't have the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Super EZA, which now that we're getting physical Goku Black Super EZA, now that that's been announced, like there's no way we're getting his, like the Gotenks Super EZA in this part 2 as well as the Goku Black one at the same time. I mean, I guess there is a minimal possibility, but I think it's very, very unlikely that that Global gets 2 Super EZAs in part 2 of the celebration. So I'll do a video talking about these guys' banner in more detail. It should be tomorrow night, because the banner should be coming out Thursday. Part 2 should start Thursday. I'll do the summon or skip video as always, where we go into more detail about the banner and stuff like that. They are a yellow coin banner, so they will have the pity system, but just unfortunately with the landscape of what Global looks like at the moment, with the options for a special pose team, and the fact that this banner comes out right before the anniversary, I just can't really imagine a scenario where it's worth summoning for these guys. But let me know what you think down below. What do you think of their unit in general? Are you excited for them? I know some people really want this guy because they want to get Topo when he comes out and run that team. So let me know your thoughts on the LR Ginyu Force. Will you be summoning for them on Thursday? Obviously we'll be live when the banner comes out to do some summons. I'm probably not going to go crazy for these guys. I might not even go all the way to pity, because it just depends how many stones that takes. Because honestly, this close to the anniversary, I just genuinely feel like it's not really that worth like going in a solid amount for them. If I get as lucky as I did for Gohan, then it'll be fine. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. So let me know what you guys think of the Ginyu Force. Very strange mixture this part 2 celebration is going to be now, because we're getting the Ginyu Force LR, which was the part 2 for Topo, but we're getting the Goku Black Super EZA, which was part of the Rosé celebration on JP, but not on Global when it originally came out. So the whole thing is a bit of a mess, but let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one. All right. Well, yeah, what a strange morning for Global. Why? Why did they do this? So Global has always done weird things, and potentially like things that don't make sense, or things come out in the wrong order and stuff like that. But like genuinely, what is the logic for these guys coming out now? Other than, I mean, they get like other than just, well, this is where this unit comes out. Like, this is the time slot where that unit from April in JP comes out on Global. But it makes no sense for them to come out now. Very strange. But, you know, it is what it is. As they say. So let's get that uploaded now as well. Could you imagine that if during the anniversary when they give us news on the sync is that it's going to be delayed for some reason? People would go crazy. I mean, there's not really anything we can do about it, but man, that would be not ideal. Saying that the sync has been very badly handled is a gigantic understatement at this point as well. Like, what are they doing? When was the Ginyu Force announced for JP? Do I have a thumbnail that goes back that far? I don't think I do. No, this is all Buso and stuff now. Well, so much for having a part 2 where all the things actually make sense. We're going to get the Ginyu Force LR, which wants special pose characters, but we're going to get the Goku Black Super EZA, who wants to be run with super bosses, which is from a completely different celebration, instead of the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Super EZA, who is a special pose character and would therefore help out the Ginyu Force, which is the unit that we're actually getting. Like, make it make sense. Like, if you're going to release Ginyu now, even though it's a really weird spot to release him, if you're going to release him now, fine, but give us the Gotenks Super EZA so that he actually has some more special pose, like, characters to be run with. And then it is not as bad, right? But, nah. Right, let me go back to, when did Ginyu come out on JP? I'm just trying to make this as quick as possible. So when they were announced for JP, I must have had a thumbnail. Where's Topo? Did I not? Legendary Freezer event came out in the Topo celebration. The guide for Gotenks to Super EZA. Wait, did I never have a... Oh. Apparently I guess, how did I miss that? I apparently didn't make a video when the Ginyu Force were announced for JP. I could have sworn I did. Let me see. Search my actual videos. No, apparently I didn't. Typical that the only one I have is I have a thumbnail that's of them. It says next on global with a question mark. That's annoying.
My money don't jiggle jiggle.
It folds. Hey, shout out to Thorn for the $2 super chat. I'm genuinely shocked at this. What is going on? I know. It's very confusing. I don't understand why they would do things in this order. It's I'm just gonna have to put the one with the question mark so I can actually make the video live and then just edit it. I know I should have got the guy to do this in advance, but I mean the thing is he should at this point knows to be ready like at the time when news gets dropped. But what am I doing? Schedule. Right. Let's get Photoshop opened up again. I mean, honestly, at this point, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if they announce that they've delayed the sync. But yeah, the fact that we are in this weird spot, because like, when is the Gotenks Super EZA going to come out then? I guess the Gotenks Super EZA is just going to be part of like the Gotenks Super EZA will just be part of Topo's celebration still, but Topo's celebration barely has any content now as well, which is because almost all of, like, so much of the content, almost all really, that's what I was going to say, but like so much of the content from Topo's celebration is already out on global now. So like, what are we getting? No, I'll just put next on global. I just have to make my own next on global, but with an exclamation mark instead of a question mark. That same draft, that should be live now, right?
All right, let's do this.
Right, so that's the thumbnail updated. So put the links in the chat again, as always, if you guys can open those up for me. But yeah, very weird. I don't know what's going on. Well, I mean, we kind of know what's going on in theory now. We know what we're getting, but the thought behind it is why I don't know what's going on. But you know, what can we do? Shout out to Thorn for the $5 super chat. As a JP player, I'm absolutely dumbfounded how they're approaching this. Unless they do a content bomb, I don't see the sync coming for worldwide. Yeah, because what we have to think about now is in terms of like what's coming up next and everything. So JP's going to have the Tanabata celebration while Global has the anniversary. So then we'll have, after the anniversary, we should get Topo. But JP will get another new Dokkan Fest. And then it will be the worldwide celebration, and then in theory the games are synced at that point. But it means unless extra stuff comes out either during the anniversary or during the Topo celebration or something like that, then it means Global would go to where the games are supposed to be synced without having Cell Max or whoever the Dokkan Fest after Tanabata is for JP and both the Tanabata units as well. Very confusing. Hey, shout out to MX for re-upping his channel membership, member for 5 months. I appreciate you. LR, Ginyu Force could have had Terrifying Conquerors or Space Traveling Warriors as a require. Yeah, imagine if it was... I mean, I guess they want it to be special pose because of the Ginyu Force, like, thing. But, like, yeah, do, like, special pose or Space Traveling Warriors or something, right? Because it means, like, you can't... For us, for Global, technically, they've released as, like, the Part 2 LR for the Frieza celebration, but you can't run them on Frieza's team. Because Frieza isn't a special pose character, so they don't work on his team. Which is just... It's just like, why? Why do they do this? Who knows? But it's what they do, so... right, so we can close that. Can put the shuffle back on for the playlist. Yeah, there's going to have to be some like sync catch-up banner or something. Because the Topo celebration for Global has basically got no content left. So they could easily throw some extra stuff in there. But otherwise, yeah, I just don't like, what are they doing? Is there one for the links? I actually can't remember. Yeah, there is. But they're all at 0. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the Awakened version. You tell me they didn't. No one got any links during any of those runs. I could have sworn they did. Although I know these don't update sometimes unless you come out of the event. Brainbuster. Hey, shout out to Drace for re-upping his membership. An in-game club member for 33 months. Let's go. 3 months away from the 3-year membership and the new badge. That's crazy. Appreciate you, my dude. Oh yeah, we got the new week of missions. We've got to make sure we do those. No, those are the old ones. Use items. What's the new ones? Use a support memory. Okay, I've got to remember to do that because I don't use support memories very often. Okay, that one's a 1. That one's a 1. 0. 0. 1. We really only had those links go up. Are you serious? I guess so. Oh god, yeah, there's going to be all the medals I can't accept because my thing's full, isn't it? Yeah. It's mainly Bubbles and Dr. Gero. But yeah, believe in Super Saiyan 4 Cyberman. Everything will be okay, trust. If only. If only Super Saiyan 4 Cyberman was the global producer. But yeah, like I say, as much as the Ginyu Force is like a terribly timed release for now, it is better for us in general, like for the players, right? Because you don't want a banner coming out right before the anniversary that is like a must summon banner, which, I mean, I'm not saying Cell Max is like a must summon, but Cell Max is really, really good. And like, I know if I was someone who didn't spend on the game or was like free to play or whatever, like you've got your anniversary funds saved up. If Cell Max was dropping as the banner right before the anniversary, I'd be really annoyed because I would really want to summon for him. So probably is best for us that it is the Ginyu Force, but at the same time, as I say, he is probably a pretty easy... They are a very easy skip, I think. I was going for 79% Cell Max bare minimum. Yeah, he's going to be crazy. One less unit, they have to shoehorn in for the sync and then easily skip. Well, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I'd rather the Ginyu Force just come out now. But yeah, it's still weird that it's happened like this, especially with, like I say, if they hadn't announced the Goku Black Super EZA like half an hour before, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation, because before that news update, I mean, most people were just pretty sure it's like, okay, well, it's going to be the Ginyu Force. And then as soon as they announced the Goku Black Super EZA, then it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe it isn't the Ginyu Force then. Like, maybe they're actually going to do something that makes a bit more sense and actually have the same, like, bits of the same celebration, like, actually, you know, so we get all the global, we get all the JP, like, Rose stuff, but no. But yeah, Cell Max comes out on JP in like 23 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see what his banner looks like as well. Yes, the Ginyu Force will be unfeatured on the Anniversary Carnival banners. So if you're summoning for Gogeta or the Gammas during the Anniversary, there is the possibility that you'll just pull Ginyu from those banners, potentially. So if you're somebody who does want the Ginyu Force, I would probably still recommend not summoning for him on their original banner, just because it's right before the Anniversary. But then at the same time, it depends what your goals for the Anniversary like banners are, right? Because I know a lot of people are saving for Beast, and the Ginyu Force aren't on his banner, right? For part 2, it's Beast Gohan and then the LR Gammas, and they'll be on the Gammas banner. So if you're someone who's going into the Anniversary with the goal of basically going all in for Beast, then obviously you're not going to get the opportunity to pull the Ginyu Force, right? Because they won't be on that banner. So yeah, I like Cell Max being yellow coin because P. I mean, that's the only great thing about these yellow coin LRs now, is if the yellow coin LRs come out and they're actually good, then you have a pity thing for them, which is great. Yeah, this last year was it was Turles came out in this slot, right? So it would have been Turles and then the Tree of My Goku. Well, the weird thing is, though, is we got Tree of Might Goku as the part 2 for Turles as the full celebration, which is what we would expect to happen, I think, didn't we? Whereas obviously Cell Max is the part 2 LR for Rose that Global already has. The whole thing is just very strange.
All right, let's do this.
But yeah, it's one of those things I've seen people speculating about it, and we talked about it on stream yesterday, but like them dropping Cell Max as like the EX part of the Anniversary or something is probably not something I would want to have happen, because of the fact there's just another banner. Because by the time you're done on the part 2 banners, if you've pulled Beast Gohan, and then maybe you spend some more stones to go back to like the part 1 banners, for example, or something like that, you're not going to then want another banner to come out. Yeah, this event actually has a fairly decent link level like rate, so all our fears are coming true. People were surprised to hear Global first before the city. Yeah, I know. Like when they announced that Rose was a Global first, in terms of like trying to think about it from the perspective of them actually knowing what they're doing, them dropping a Global first was a great idea, because it came out in the middle of 2 celebrations, so it didn't replace anything that Global should have been getting to catch up to JP, but it then created something that JP would have to get in order to catch up to Global, therefore giving Global a little bit more time to catch up to JP. Because we didn't lose any time, because he was just inserted in between 2 other celebrations, which would have been perfectly fine. That would have made perfect sense if that's how they would have done it. And then they did what they've done before in the past with Global First, where it's like, actually, we'll turn this into a whole different, like, bigger celebration. So we'll add in a banner unit, we'll add in new events, we'll add in Super EZA, and then a Part 2 LR. And it's just like, why even release them as a global first in the first place if you're just going to do that? Like, I mean, that is true that obviously if we didn't get Rosé early, then we'd still have to get Rosé as well as all this other stuff. So him coming out early for global means that we still, you know, are a little bit closer to being caught up than we were before, but they just handled it in like the worst way possible, I think. It is what it is. What can you do? But Goku Black Super EZA for global is good. That's hype. The Super Bosses team, because I mean the thing is, the Super Bosses team on global and JP are almost exactly the same, except for Broly. But because of the way the domains work, like, I mean, I guess to be fair, one big buff that JP does have as well is the EZA for the Broly trio from the anniversary. They're a really good unit for the Super Bosses team, but I think, as I've said it before on the podcast when we've talked about that unit, though, I feel like people 100% like rewrite history when it comes to tech hit, because on release he was really good, and then it was just after he released when there was like a bit more power creep, and then he sucked, and then it was unfortunate. But like on release he was good. I remember watching, I think it was like I don't know if private servers might have been a thing then, I can't remember, but I remember watching, like, I think it was D3 maybe, doing like a rainbow showcase for him, and I was like, oh, he's really good. Like, I need to get, like, yeah, I need something like this. I forgot we got the mission, we have to use the support memory. I think I've just add Cell Max to the Gamma's banner. Well, they probably won't change the banners at all for the anniversary, because they never usually do. Like, Global should really be getting Omega come back soon, but they posted the banner lineup for Gogeta and Broly when they made that thing about the tickets, and he's not on, neither Omega nor like the Super Saiyan trio are on Gogeta's banner. I mean, from a business standpoint, if they want to try and make as much money as possible, it would have made more sense to bring out Cell Max, because I think much more people would have been interested in summoning for him than for the Ginyu Force. Because as we've already said, right, and as I said in that video, like, the Ginyu Force are just not good on global. Like, yellow coin LRs have been hit or miss over the years, where some of them are great and then some of them are just like alright but not really that good. Whereas these guys, it's a completely different situation, because on the right team, they are really good, but we don't even have that team to run them on. So it's like, if you summon for them and you pull them, like, where are you actually running them realistically? You're just going to make like a full Ginyu, like just try and run the Ginyu Force team, which, I mean, you can do some end game events with the Ginyu Force team still, but like Kid Buu, even like Fusion Zamasu, any anniversary content, like, that Ginyu Force team is not going to be cruising through those events just thanks to the LR Ginyu Force, who will probably, like, hands down will be the best unit on the team, but it's the rest of the team that will let the run down, because you've got AGL Ginyu as the leader, you've got Raccoon and Guldo are still good, Jason Berta, as long as they dodge, would be okay. Then you've got the LR Ginyu Force, and you still need 2 more slots. So you could run both the free-to-play LRs, like the tech and the physical LR Ginyu Force. But, like, nowadays, their support is good, and they can tank normals okay from some bosses. But once you get to, like, the harder bosses, they're not even going to be tanking normals, let alone surviving a super attack. Why is the game taking so long to load? There hasn't been a data download or anything yet, but it's just been super slow. hit with a domain for part 2. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to see a Blue Kaioken Goku versus Hit. Yeah, I was going to say I haven't seen the translation, because when I saw just the basic Google Translate things, it seemed like the wording for that AGL Vegito was still just as the first attacker in the turn, which obviously means he sucks if that is the case. But nice. Our boy Mario with the already sent me a Ginyu Force overlay. I'm thinking they'll just add Cell Max to the Gamma banner. Well, this is the thing, like, someone else just said that as well, but, like, they don't normally change the banners for the, they don't change the banners for the anniversary, do they? I mean, he's a yellow coin LR, so it's slightly different for, like, being a featured, like, Carnival LR, like Omega or something. But, Global will not have part 2 Carnival LR for the Tunnel. Well, it depends what they decide to do. Again, like, this is the thing where I think they're probably going to end up doing... The games are going to sync in terms of, like, the release schedules are going to sync. They're going to be like, hey, right, from now on, everything comes out on both versions at the same time. But Global is still going to be missing a few things. And they're just going to essentially do what they did with Rosé, where they just drop random stuff in the middle of other celebrations. So, like, after Worldwide, for example, both versions get the next Dokkan Fest that would be coming out after Worldwide. And then, let's say the next thing wouldn't be coming out for, like, 3 weeks. Like, a week and a half later, Global just gets some other random thing, like the Cell Max banner or something. But they're just going to have to do something like that, otherwise, or they do the whole thing, obviously, as we said before, where they just do a massive, like, catch-up banner where every unit that Global doesn't have is just on one banner. But as we get closer to the sync and, like, we're starting to, I feel less and less like they are actually going to do that. I don't know. But yeah, Cell Max comes out on JP in like 11 minutes time. We'll be wrapping up the stream then. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing anything on JP probably ever again. I can't even remember the last time I actually logged into my JP account. There's missions on JP next week for the LFE where you need Universe Survival Saga, Universe 6 and Space Traveling Warriors. So all of those are hit related. I can see why people are talking about a new hit potentially. The Resurrection F story event and revamp of the Golden Freezer. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a revamp of the older one or if it is actually just the new. Because it comes with, I know, well, it doesn't matter because they revamp and add stuff to them all the time anyway. But I think it comes with a farmable Krillin as well. But yeah, make sure you're doing these. We've only got 3 days left to complete this week's one. To get all these tickets for doing the free summons when the anniversary starts. I need to remember to finish this one. I've got to use 10 more items. But we've still got 11 days. Obviously, this can't be completed anyway, because it only started 18 days ago. That's why it's on 18 out of 25. Because obviously, at least at the bare minimum, you want to be logging in every day, even if you don't really do anything, just so it keeps getting, you keep checking this off. Because I think we checked when it started. There's only 11 days left, right, which would have put me up to, so that would be 29. So there's like, you can miss like 3 days. And that's it. So if you've missed more than 3 days already, you won't be able to finish this mission at the end and get the extra 8 tickets. But I mean, the easiest way to do the items mission, if you haven't done it yet and you want to get it done as quickly as possible, the easiest way to do the items mission is to just jump into the nuking event, like the punching bag thing, with the one where you can use items, and just do that. I think at this point, honestly, whilst they must have a plan of some variety, I honestly wouldn't even go that far. I genuinely don't have the faith in the level of faith in them anymore to even say, obviously, they have a plan for global. It's like, do they? Because it doesn't seem like it. Like, I think Truth just tweeted, like, basically one of the same sort of thing we were saying. Is like, if they're going to release the Ginyu Force that need a full special pose team, why are they not dropping the Gotenks Super EZA? Like, why are they doing physical Goku Black Super EZA, who needs Super Boss's allies, after just releasing Frieza on Global, who isn't a Super Boss, and then releasing Toppo, the Ginyu Force, who needs special pose allies? Like, obviously they want to try and, they're trying to just give us the, you know, little bits of the Rose celebration that Global didn't get. And I would prefer the Goku Black Super EZA, because I like the team more than having Gotenks, but, like, it just doesn't make sense. If you're going to drop the Goku Black Super EZA, drop Cell Max. If you're going to drop the Ginyu Force, drop the Tech Gotenks Super EZA. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's when they make really weird decisions like that, that's when it becomes really difficult to just be like, oh, well, they obviously have a plan. Like, they know what they're doing. Because it's like, do they? When they're doing stuff like that? Like, I forget which of the ones you can't use items on. It's been so long since I've done this event now. I mean, I guess it'll tell me when I go into the stage. It's been super slow. So close to the anniversary. I mean, yeah, it's only a couple of weeks away now. The actual countdown to the anniversary celebration thing should start in like 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. The quickest way to do it is if you are just doing your dailies, even if you're doing like the Roshi event or you're doing the like Whis event. Just bring all of those different, like the health drink cans that you never use for anything else. And then there's like 8 items you get to use in one go. I actually never noticed before, but are the punching bags superclass enemies? Because then in theory... Actually, no, it doesn't even... I was going to say, it doesn't even matter what team we use, does it? Because we don't get... You can't get Link levels because it costs no stamina.
Let's do this.
Okay, yeah, the punching bags apparently are superclass because it plays the... it uses the support memory, which only happens if you have a superclass enemy, which is funny. I think. I don't think the support memories play if they wouldn't actually do anything. Although I say that, we're using a team that... Well, there is an extreme class character, but... I mean, I think it's one of those things. I know some people just will complain about everything and complain all the time, regardless. But I think it's worth, like, when stuff like this is handled as badly as it is, we should be complaining about it because we know that to a certain extent they see what's going on in the community sometimes, and sometimes they see and just don't care. But, like, that's why we should complain about stuff like this. But like if they don't see people complaining about it, I mean, again, it comes down to, are they actually going to do anything about it anyway? And chances are no, because they've got their plan for what the sync is going to be and when it's going to be. But like, they're not going to just suddenly change that plan because people are complaining about it. But they have said they're going to give us more news during the anniversary, but that's it. They didn't say like what that news is going to be. They've shown that very basic roadmap like once or twice, and that's it really. Like, I think someone said before, was it Sokodo higher up? Yeah, the lack of transparency on their part. Because yeah, I mean, it's one of the things we talked about already, right? They just announced the sync too early, and they didn't say like, if they'd given us a more clear idea, like even if they announced it when they did, which is basically a year before it was going to happen. If when they announced it, they said this will be taking place next year's worldwide celebration, then at least people would have had that sort of idea, and people wouldn't be expecting, oh, well, every single little decision that they make from now on must be working towards the sync, because we would already know that it wasn't gonna happen for a year. But when they just come out and say, oh, well, we're going to sync the two versions, and then we get like a minor change, like for example Rosé coming out as a global first, then without having had more details and a more clear explanation, people are obviously going to think, okay, well, this must be being done this way because it's working towards the sync. And then when they just turn around and like, okay, well, now here's that Goku Black celebration on JP, but actually it's going to have a ton of extra content, including like a banner unit, new story events, a Super EZA, and then, oh, and a Part 2 LR. And then it just makes you wonder, like, why did they even bother doing it that way in the first place? And that's, I think it's fair to like be asking those kind of questions as opposed to just be like, well, they have their plan. It's like, well, if they do, could we at least know what it is? Like, I think that's the main thing. Is that even if they have a plan, and even if it's confusing and doesn't make sense to us, at least we would know what it was if they actually told us, which I think is the biggest part, right? I mean, what's funny to me is obviously those people are just crazy, but like I get some random comments on some of the last couple of videos. They're from names I don't recognize from like as like channel regulars or anything, but I've had a couple of comments on some of these recent videos of people being like, oh, like the sync's not actually going to happen. Like, you guys that think the games are actually syncing are just being dumb or whatever. And it's like, I'm not going to go that far. Like, they're clearly not handling it as well as we would have liked, but it is a thing that is happening. They wouldn't have like announced it and mentioned it as much as they have if they weren't actually going to do it. But I mean, that is a thing that happens all the time, is people make assumptions about stuff, and then when it doesn't come to be exactly what they wanted, then they complain about it, which is a thing that does happen a lot. But I think there are certain assumptions that are more reasonable than others. Like, if they're going to announce that the versions are going to sync, I think it's a reasonable assumption that then the decisions that they make over the next, like, 6 months should be things that would be beneficial to the sync. I think that's a reasonable assumption to make. So then when they do things that aren't beneficial for the future sync, I think it's understandable to be confused and complain that why are they doing it that way. But again, it's Dokkan's big thing has always been transparency. If they just properly announced everything, like this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, because like that roadmap thing wasn't really much information of stuff that we didn't really kind of already know. There's a few little bits of interesting information on it, like the fact that it mentions the domain update and stuff like that, but that's it. Right, so it's 9 o'clock, so Cell Max should be out on JP. I just really want to see what his banner looks like, because I imagine it's going to be not good. It has in Rosé featured. That was one of the things I guessed there would be. And the other one is Tree of Might Goku, which is not one I would have guessed, considering he's not a super boss or an artificial life form, so doesn't really make sense for him to be on that banner, but that's a weird one. Let's have a look at the actual banner. So the featured units are Cell Max. Oh, that's interesting. The Int Golden Frieza that came out with Broly. That's actually quite good that he's featured because he's a Super Boss's support unit. So that actually makes sense. Tree of Might Goku, which is weird. The AGL Android 8 from the DB Saga team. I mean, I guess technically he's an artificial life form, but that's bizarre. AGL Goku Black. I mean, I guess I could just show it actually. There's the Dokkan info one. So yeah, this is the banner for Cell Max. So Cell Max, Golden Frieza, Tree of Might Goku, Android 8, the AGL Goku Black. I mean, he's a support unit for Future Saga, I think, so it's kind of weird. The Rose, these guys, the Cell Juniors, they do get buffs for like a full artificial life forms team, so I guess that does kind of make sense. Android 16, and then having randomly a God Goku and a Blue Vegeta, so... I mean, this Frieza being on there is really good, because if you're pulling for Cell Max and you pull this Frieza and you didn't have him, he's a Super Boss's support unit. So I've actually not seen what a rotation of this guy, Cell Max, like with Big Bad Bosses active, and then on a rotation with Golden Frieza. He probably looks absolutely ridiculous. But there you go. That's the Cell Max banner. That's out on JP now. And that's going to be the end of the stream for this morning. Make sure you guys check out the second channel. The link is pinned in the chat. Like I say, we're going to be playing a horror game tonight on the stream. First-person horror game set on an oil rig. Should be interesting. It's called Still Wakes the Deep. That'll be in 11 hours from now. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hit that like button if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel. We are on our way. The goal is 30k subs by the end of the anniversary. So hopefully I will see you guys later on the second stream. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow morning for the new quest stages for Global. And then all the main stuff is going to release on Thursday morning. So there should be, I think, a data download probably tomorrow. But obviously I'll let you guys know and we'll do a news breakdown if there is one. So that's it from me. I'll see you all again soon. Have a good one.